Welcome. Today, we're talking about automating CI/CD for data pipelines. Specifically, how to bring real software delivery discipline to orchestration platforms like Apache Airflow, Prefect, and Dagster. This isn't a tutorial on any one of these tools. It's a look at the layer that sits on top of all three. How do you test, build, and deploy pipeline code safely, the same way you'd ship any other piece of production software? Let's start with why this problem is harder than it looks. Here's the core asymmetry that makes this topic worth your next 20 minutes. A broken web deploy fails loudly. You get a 500 error, a failed health check, an automatic rollback, and an on-call engineer paged within seconds. A broken data pipeline usually does none of that. It keeps running, the task shows green, the DAG shows success, and underneath, it's quietly writing wrong numbers into a table that 3 dashboards and a finance report depend on. Nobody notices until the numbers stop making sense, and by then, the bad data has been propagating for days. That's the picture on the right of this slide. A software bug fails fast. Exception thrown, request errors, someone paged in seconds. A data pipeline bug fails silently. The task reports success, but the values are wrong, and they cascade downstream for days before anyone catches it. This is a scenario almost every data team eventually lives through. An analyst notices a KPI dashboard looks off on a Monday morning, and 2 days of investigation later, the root cause turns out to be a join key that was silently changed by an unreviewed pipeline edit the previous Thursday. The fix takes 10 minutes. Finding it takes 2 days. CI/CD is how we collapse that gap, catching the problem before it ever touches production data, not after. So what does shipping even mean when the artifact isn't a web service, but a pipeline? This is the single mental model I want you to leave with today. Traditional software CI/CD ships one thing: code. A change gets built, unit tested, packaged into a deployable artifact, and it starts serving traffic. Success is binary and immediate. The service is either up and healthy, or it isn't. Data pipeline CI/CD ships 3 things at once. Code, yes, but also the shape of the DAG, or asset graph, and the schema of the data it reads and writes. All 3 have to be validated together before anything reaches a scheduler. Testing has to happen against data that actually looks like production, not just synthetic fixtures, because most pipeline bugs are data shape bugs. Nulls, type drift, unexpected cardinality that a plain unit test won't catch. And deployment doesn't target a fleet of servers, it targets an orchestrator. Rollout has to be backfill aware, because if a broken version ran for 6 hours before anyone rolled it back, the fix isn't just deploy the old code, it's deploy the old code and reprocess the window that ran wrong. Here's the line I want you to remember. A pipeline deploy that succeeds can still be wrong. Correctness depends on the shape of the data, not just the shape of the code. Keep that in mind because everything else in this talk is really just tooling built to make that distinction visible before it costs you anything. Let's make this concrete with an actual reference architecture, one that works whether you're running Airflow, Prefect, or Dagster underneath. It starts, like any CI/CD pipeline, with a Git repository holding your DAGs, assets, or flows. A change lands there, and a CI runner, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, whatever your team already uses, takes over. It lints the code, runs unit tests against individual task or asset logic, and critically, it performs a graph import check. It actually imports the module and confirms the DAG or asset graph parses without raising an exception. That one check catches the single most common class of production pipeline failure, a broken import that silently disables an entire file's worth of tasks, sometimes without any visible error in the scheduler UI at all. A passing build produces a versioned, immutable artifact, typically a Docker image, and pushes it to a registry. Then CD takes over. For Airflow, that might mean updating a Git sync target or rolling out a new Helm release. For Prefect, it's running a deploy command against a work pool. For Dagster, it's updating a code location, often through an ephemeral branch deployment first. We'll come back to that shortly. From there, the orchestrator schedules and executes tasks against your data warehouse. And underneath all of it runs a continuous loop, observability and alerting.
Freshness checks, row count checks, schema conformance checks, all wired to trigger an automatic rollback the moment something regresses, rather than waiting for a human to notice a stale dashboard 3 days later. I want to call out that import check step specifically because it's cheap, often under a second per DAG, and it catches a disproportionate share of real incidents. A single missing import or a typoed variable reference can take down an entire file of tasks, and most orchestrators won't raise a loud alarm about it. They'll just quietly stop scheduling that DAG.
Let's zoom into that CI stage and look at an actual test. This example is Dagster specific, but the pattern generalizes to any of these platforms. This function creates a fully ephemeral Dagster instance. No shared database, no shared run history, which means it can run safely in parallel across many concurrent CI jobs without any of them interfering with each other. Then it attempts to materialize a deliberately small, representative slice of the asset graph, raw orders and daily revenue, rather than the entire production graph. That keeps the test fast, seconds rather than the minutes a full backfill would take, while still exercising the real dependency chain end to end. Notice there are 2 failure modes handled explicitly and differently. A Dagster invariant violation error means the graph itself is malformed, a broken dependency, a duplicate asset key, and it's caught before any computation even runs. A result.success check afterward catches a runtime failure inside one of the actual computations. Both paths print a properly formatted error annotation and return false, and that Boolean return is what turns into a non-zero process exit code, the actual mechanism that fails the CI job and blocks the merge. I want to flag a common mistake here. Teams often write CI checks that only confirm the graph imports without raising. Necessary, but not sufficient. This test goes one step further and actually runs a small materialization, which catches an entire class of bugs that only show up at execution time. A resource that isn't configured correctly for the test environment, or dependency that's declared but never actually produces what the next asset expects. Now let's compare how this actually plays out across the 3 major platforms, because the CI and deployment story looks meaningfully different depending on which one you're running. Airflow uses an imperative task-based model. You explicitly wire operators together into a DAG. Its CI story typically centers on exactly the kind of test we just looked at. Import every DAG module, scan for import errors. Deployment usually means either a git sync sidecar pulling files from a repo on a schedule, or baking DAGs into a versioned Docker image deployed via Helm. Airflow tends to be the right fit for organizations with real platform engineering investment and thousands of tasks that need to run reliably at scale. Prefect takes a more Pythonic, dynamic approach. Flows and tasks are just decorated functions, which makes local testing easy since you can often just call the flow directly inside a test. Deployment is a first-class command, Prefect deploy, registering against a work pool, with flexible storage for pulling code from S3 or GitHub. Prefect tends to win with smaller platform teams that want to move fast and have highly dynamic, parameterized workflows. Dagster is the most declarative of the 3. You define software-defined assets with explicit inputs and outputs, and the framework builds a full lineage graph automatically from that. CI leans on local development runs plus asset materialization tests, like the one we just walked through, and deployment centers on code locations, often through ephemeral branch deployments. Dagster tends to win when data quality and lineage visibility are first-order requirements. For example, teams under real compliance or data contract obligations. Whichever tool you're running, the actual deployment moment is the highest risk step in this whole process. So let's talk about how to make it safe. The flow has 5 stages. A pull request opens with a proposed change. Rather than deploying straight into a shared staging environment, the safest pattern spins up an ephemeral preview deployment scoped just to that branch. Isolated infrastructure that can safely read from production-like data without any risk of writing to real production tables. A human reviewer, plus automated checks like the smoke test we saw earlier, gate the merge. After merging, rather than immediately resuming every scheduled run at full scale, you run a canary. Let exactly one production scheduled run execute on the new version and inspect its output before resuming the full schedule. Only after that canary passes does the change get full promotion. And if anything goes wrong at any point, the rollback path has to be explicit.
git revert, redeploy the last known good version, and this part is specific to data pipelines, reprocess the time window that ran under the broken version. Simply redeploying old code doesn't fix data that's already been written incorrectly. I want to call out the failure mode in the box at the bottom because it's the hardest one to catch: schema drift. A column rename or a type change frequently doesn't break anything syntactically. It just silently corrupts data until the next backfill runs, weeks later. The fix is treating data contracts as an explicit required CI gate, not something a reviewer is expected to catch by eye in a diff.
This pattern isn't theoretical. Let's ground it in something real. Dagster Plus, the managed offering from Dagster Labs, productizes exactly this preview deployment workflow as a native feature. Every push to a branch with an open pull request automatically spins up a fresh, fully isolated deployment of that branch's code, separate from production. Because it's isolated infrastructure rather than a shared staging slot, multiple engineers can each have their own preview running at the same time without stepping on each other, a real pain point with traditional shared staging environments. Teams can point these previews at production-scale data, watch real materializations happen in the UI, and catch problems interactively before merge. And when the pull request closes, the preview tears itself down automatically. No lingering infrastructure cost. This discipline isn't unique to asset-based tools either. Airflow native teams get a lighter weight version of the same safety net through DAG integrity testing baked into CI, importing every module, asserting zero import errors, a practice that's been part of Apache Airflow's own contributor guidance for years. The deeper lesson generalizes across all three platforms. The safest deployment is one where you've already watched the change run successfully against something that looks like production before it ever actually touches production. Let's talk about where this space is heading, because I think there's a real architectural shift underway, not just a checklist of best practices. An Airflow task in the classic model is fundamentally ephemeral. It's a step that ran, and once it's done, the orchestrator doesn't retain a durable notion of, say, this table as a first-class object with its own identity and history. Dagster's software-defined asset model flips that. The asset, a table, a file, a model, is the first-class object, and the code that produces it is secondary. And that identity is exactly the hook that lets tooling do things an imperative task graph structurally can't. Diff the lineage graph between two versions of code and say precisely which downstream tables are affected by a change. Attach a schema directly to the asset definition and validate it in CI. Generate a genuinely useful preview environment because the tool knows which specific assets changed, not just which files changed. You can see this playing out in three concrete trends: data contracts becoming CI gates instead of Slack alerts after the fact, lineage-aware diffing replacing manual code review guesswork, and quality checks that block a merge instead of triggering a 2 a.m. page after the bad data has already shipped. To be clear, this doesn't mean imperative DAG frameworks are going away. Airflow remains extremely well-suited to complex operational scheduling. But even Airflow native shops are increasingly layering asset-aware features on top of task DAGs, specifically to borrow this identity model. Let's pull this all together into 5 heuristics you can actually take back to your team. 1. Test the graph import, not just the task logic. A broken DAG or asset graph import is the single most common cause of production pipeline outages, and it's the cheapest thing you can catch, seconds, in CI every single time. 2. Treat schema as a CI gate. Validate data contracts before code ever reaches the scheduler, because a successful-looking deploy can still be silently writing wrong data. 3. Prefer ephemeral per-branch previews over a single shared staging environment. Branch deployments, or an equivalent pattern, beat a staging pipeline that everyone fights over and that drifts out of sync the moment more than one person needs it. 4. Deploy with backfill awareness. For a pipeline, rollback means revert plus reprocess, not just revert. Plan that path before you need it, not during an incident. And 5. Match the orchestrator to your team's actual topology. Airflow for ops mature scale, Prefect for dynamic workflows, Dagster for lineage-first, contract-driven organizations. If you only do one of these starting Monday, make it the first one. It's an hour of work, and it prevents the single most common cause of outage. For anyone who wants to go deeper after this, here's where I'd start. Each orchestrator's own documentation is genuinely the best source for deployment specifics, since these APIs move fast. Airflow's testing guide, Prefect's deployment docs, and Dagster's CI/CD and branch deployment docs. On the tooling side, PyTest-based DAG validators, the Dagster CLI for scripting branch deployments, and ready-made GitHub Actions templates for each platform. And if you want to go broader, look at the DORA State of DevOps research for deployment frequency benchmarking, and at data contract patterns from ecosystems like dbt and Pydantic, which pair naturally with the schema as CI gate principle we just covered. Start with whichever orchestrator matches your current stack, not all three at once. So, to close, CI/CD for data pipelines isn't a lesser version of software CI/CD. It's the same discipline, applied to a harder correctness problem, where the artifact is code, schema, and data shape all at once, and where failures are silent instead of loud. Ship data pipelines like software, safely, repeatably, and observably. I'd love to take questions on any of the three platforms, the architecture, or any of the specific patterns we covered today. Thank you.